Welcome to the second edition of Women Issue. I apologize for being late. It was due to traffic. But I promise you, next week we will be here 11 and dots. And today I've got two wonderful guests with me. On my right hand side, of course, is Lizzie. She's a social worker.
I'm going to correct you then. Susie.
Oh, Susie, thank you. She is a social worker, an IT consultant, and all the way from London, yeah? Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here.
Thanks.
And to my left-hand side, I've got my wonderful and beautiful sister, NGO, Evelyn Ngozi. She is a motivational speaker. She's a businesswoman. She's a mother of 3 lovely kids. Yes. And the honor is mine. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So last week, we talked about domestic abuse and relationship. And the first issue we tackled last week was on financial aspect. You know, when you're in a relationship, you're not working, you're not anything, it's difficult to get away from any form of abuse. So today, we will be talking more about that, and we'll be talking about emotional abuse and what causes domestic violence in relationship and marriages. So I'm going to come to you, Sister Susie.
Yes.
Okay, because I know so many people have mistaken emotional abuse as a form of love.
Yes.
So I would like you to please talk to my audience and to tell them what is emotional abuse.
I define, what I'm saying, it's my personal definition, emotional abuse as when a person understands someone's emotional needs and uses it against them to get what they want to get out of the person. There is nothing positive about emotional abuse. It is all, well, as you see the word abuse there, it's all negative. So they hold back or they play on the intelligence of the person to get what they want or to get the person to behave in the manner that they want the person to behave in.
That's good. Thank you. And Ngozi, I'm going to ask you, what do you understand by the word emotional abuse?
Just like what Sister Susan said, is like, you know, controlling, because you have some men, they know that yes, you have this weak point, and they use it against you by telling you, oh, you can't be this, you can't be that. You know, if I leave you, nobody else can come for you. You know, things like that, because you know that things, such words is like a pain, like a needle that strike on someone's skin, and you hit it on this person, and to them they take it like oh, they now have power over her or over the person.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I really like.
And to me, I feel like, you know, the number one aspect of emotional abuse is verbal abuse.
Yes.
Do you know, I would say partly yes, but I would say partly no.
Okay.
Because I would say when it comes to emotional abuse, like we just said, that person has over a period of time studied their partner's emotional needs. So, for example, you have a person, you have someone that hates keeping malice, that hates not being spoken to. That thing is killing them inside. And that person, the perpetrator, knows that that person does not like being in conflict, being in silence, and so they refuse to talk to the person. And they know within them that they have broken this person down to the point, or they can control this person down to the point that the person's going to, please talk to me, honey. Honey, are you okay? Honey, talk to me. Okay, let's not argue anymore. You're clearly upset. That gives them, that kind of starts them having that power. So now I start talking to you, you do what I want you to do. Yeah.
And do you know that verbally abuse can also kill?
Yes, it does. Like I said from the beginning, they use it like, oh, this person, you know the weak points of this person. Oh, if I speak to this person, maybe the person has got some weight problem, or maybe he's got like how will I put it? Emotion, you know, just like what she said. There are some people that they don't like talking,
but and there are some low self-esteem.
Yes, very low self-esteem, and they can't even come out. They've seen themselves that they are nobody. You understand? So they've seen themselves like they are nobody. So if anyone should come to them, like trying to like tell them, see, you can do this, you can do this. Say no, because of the relationship they've had, because of the verbal abuse, so they can't even like lift themselves up or make themselves to be somebody.
Yeah. So Susie, what do you think about people that are in an emotional abuse? What do you think they need to do to get out of that situation?
You see, when it comes to emotional abuse, I think it's quite different from physical abuse, because with physical abuse, you can tell the person you need to walk away. They might find it hard. With financial abuse, somebody else might come in there and say, right, let me help you financially. It doesn't happen often, but it could happen. You see, with emotional abuse, it's something that cannot be seen a lot of the time. Most of the time, it can't be seen. One, sometimes the perpetrator does not know that they're doing it.
Of course.
Because it's their way of life.
It's their way of living.
No, not living, but it's their way of coping. It's their way of communicating with people. It's their way of getting
making
what
themselves
they
feel good.
want. Exactly. Of giving them power. So because it makes them feel powerful, they're happy with it. Also, the perpetrator doesn't know that this is actually emotional abuse. Because to them, they feel guilty about the conflict that has happened with them and the perpetrator, their partner. It might be, okay, the soup wasn't cooked properly, so you're not talking to me. You know, and I've got so it's my fault. Or, I got home late. Okay, let's do an example like, your husband's at work, you have to call him to say, darling, can you go and pick up the kids from nursery, because we get charged if we're late, we get charged the fine. I can't leave work, I'm stuck in traffic. And then the man goes, but then he comes home and he's not talking to the wife anymore. He argues with her because of that. But it's not her fault. But then she ends up apologizing to him for something that was not her fault.
That wasn't her fault in the first place.
So now so they've already got that power over you, because instead of you to turn around and say to the person, but hold on, honey, it wasn't my fault. There was an accident. I was in traffic. But no, to him. So, you know, it's and then they don't allow other people to see it, because that same person that is emotionally abusing their partner by not talking to them, by ignoring them, will not do it in front of somebody else. So when people are around, they are the nicest person to their partner.
They want to show that,
as soon as that door is shut,
then they
become the monster.
You know, I've seen most cases and most women that walked up to me that, you know what, my partner is abusing me emotionally. And I'm like, how do you deal with that? How do you cope with that? And she's like, anytime I try to report him to my parents or his parents, then he start crying. He's like, oh no, it's your daughter that's abusing me. So I'm like, how do you deal with that kind of a person? Because with that kind of a person, it's very difficult for someone to believe that he is the one that's actually abusing this person. So how do you think we can deal with that person?
Sometimes, again, from the beginning of the relationship, there are some, you know, like, let's put it for now, if I'm a single girl and I see a guy, you know, trying to approach me, and from the beginning, there's some things that you pick from that guy. But because of we women, once we see this guy, oh, we like this guy, oh, we love this guy, we won't really open, we won't really, you know, look for what,
six-pack.
we won't really, you know, look in, first of all, and see who really this guy is. And again, what I keep on telling people, no matter how, you know, you're communicating with someone, if you don't live with that person, you don't know that person. You don't know that person at all. And again, in relationship, when there's no communication, it's problem. I cannot go out with this guy if you don't communicate. You need to communicate. If we have problems, we need to sort it out one another. But there's another thing again, for you reporting to parents, because it's not all men that like you to be going to the parents. Oh, I want to report you to the to your parents. The only way I tell people to report to you, the parents, is when it comes to physical.
But wait, I have to disagree with you there.
No. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
I'm going somewhere. So it's just like what you said, that there are some men that they are real control freak. They want it at this time. They don't want it to pass that time. You have to do.
It has to be what they want.
Yes, you have to do what I say. It's like
your
it's like slavery. You know, it's like
The part I'm disagreeing with you
Yes.
is where you said you should only report
to your parents.
When it comes to
abuse.
physical, yeah.
If it's emotional abuse, why are you not?
No,
Listen,
the thing is that
abuse.
Abuse to me. Any
It's
form of
abuse.
abuse.
Yeah,
is
I
abuse.
understand you guys. Where you can get to the parents is when it's getting too much.
No,
That
no,
you try.
no. I
No,
disagree.
no, wait, hold on, please. When you try, it's like, oh, it's done this, first of all, second time, third time, it's not changing. Then you can call the parents. Not like first time you did it, then you call the parents. Second time you call the parents. That's what I'm trying to say.
I still
it's not
disagree.
by what?
The reason why I disagree.
No, if I like.
Now the reason why I disagree is number one.
Mm-hmm.
We start as we mean to go on.
Yeah.
You knock it on the head right from the beginning. You don't allow it to grow.
That's why I
Let
said
me
from the
finish,
beginning
wait.
of the relationship. You should know that from the beginning.
No,
of
but
the,
you're
not
saying-
when you're married.
No, but I'm saying
when you're married now.
But what I'm saying is where
Yeah.
you're saying when it comes to emotional abuse, that's not something we should report. But when it comes to physical abuse, we should report it.
When
Any form of
Abuse.
abuse needs to be reported. At the end of the day, usually when it's something like emotional abuse, the family already know it's there because they know this person. They've experienced this person.
How are you sure? Because it's not everyone
Because
that really like comes out.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's not everyone
Thank
that really
you.
comes out.
Thank
They
you
show
both of
themselves.
you.
Just
I'm
come
gonna
from nowhere.
quickly
telling you.
chip in something. Do you know emotional abuse can put you in a state of depression?
Of course
yes,
it
of course.
can, yes.
So I would say you report
Yes.
if it is emotional abuse because
You have to.
I'm telling you, emotional abuse kills faster. Before you know it, you start smoking, you start drinking. Don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing those people that are smoking. But with emotional abuse, it can put you in a state of mind that you don't want to be. Believe me, it can take your life away from you completely.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
It can
yeah.
take everything away completely
Yeah.
from you. Emotional abuse can, can put you in a mental state of mind.
Yeah.
Believe me, it can destroy you faster. Because with physical abuse, people can see it. You can run as fast as you want to.
That's the people that
with
want to run. There are
emotional
some that don't
abuse,
run.
you cannot see it.
Even physical, sometimes you can't.
Some physical you can
Some
see,
physical you can't see,
but with emotional
yeah.
abuse you can see it, and that kills. That is like someone killing you silently.
You
You get what I mean? And at the end of the day, if you don't report, people are gonna be like, okay, but nothing is wrong with her. We don't see anything, and believe me, they did not see anything except to report it.
And also, right, but also, emotional abuse, the family already know. Because don't forget, emotional abuse is not something you pick off of the street. It's your character.
Yeah.
It's in you. It's a way, it's your mechanism that you use to get things off people. It's your mechanism that you use to stay empowered in your own atmosphere, in your own environment, in your own personal space. So at the end of the day, if he's not talking to you because of something little, be rest assured, he's done it with his family members before. You're not the first person.
That's what I'm saying, that from the beginning of the relationship, she would have seen it first.
No, but
going
you
deeper.
just said that emotional abuse shouldn't be
No,
reported.
what I'm saying is, no. I didn't say it should not be reported. What I'm saying is, when he's done it first, you try to talk
About it.
about
Yeah,
it.
that
That's what I'm
makes
saying.
sense.
It's not like
because
forced.
it could be.
That's what I'm saying.
It could be
no?
something
It's
is
not
like,
upsetting him from where it's coming from.
It's not like,
Yeah.
every time, oh, mommy,
Report.
daddy, report. No. You
I
sit
don't
down.
know.
No, you sit down, you talk. That's why both of you are together.
Do you realize
You
that
communicate.
do you realize that what you've just said, and I don't mean this in a horrible way, but what you've just said is a way of getting people isolated.
No,
Wait, let me finish.
no.
In the sense that everybody copes with things differently.
Differently.
My coping mechanism is different from yours.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you need to remember there are different levels of emotional abuse, and there are different ways that it hits a person. Now, if it's going to hit you, and you have a good relationship with your in-laws, with relatives within the family that can speak to him, hello, this happened, how do I deal with it? You need to talk up. So, no, I think that every time it happens, if you have to talk up, you have to talk up. There's no harm in talking up.
Not at
but
all.
there is harm in not talking up because it's in you and you're like, I can deal with this, but maybe you can't deal with it because he's not going to change just because you spoke to him. You need somebody within the family to talk to him.
Do you know there's still some, even if the family interfere?
But we can't
still-
make
they
that
still
an
don't change.
They
excuse.
still don't change.
They
That's
still
what,
don't change.
honestly,
We cannot
that's why
make
I'm
that that is an excuse that I would never use, because that can happen anyway. So because I feel that if I talk to the family, they're not going to say anything, I still need to try. And obviously, the response I get from them the first time will determine whether I come back the second time. Or whether I go and talk to somebody else. But I can't use that as an excuse. Maybe they won't talk to me. No. I can't do that.
What I'm saying is, maybe she tries, she talks to the family, and there's still some men that if you like, they will tell you, go and call Jesus.
Yeah,
go and call Jesus.
What I'm going to do.
What I'm going to do. So it's up to her to be there, or no, just like you said, there are some people, they are hardcore, and they are very, they are very, you know, calm. Like me, I'm very, I'm hardcore. So, like you said, everyone is different. If I talk to you, first of all, then you don't listen. Then I sit back. Then you try it again second time. Then I report it to your family. Then if you don't, then the rest, I know what to do. But just also, like what you said, there are some soft people, they can't take it.
Yeah, so it's different for everyone.
Very different.
We cannot say, oh, don't bother, because they're not going to respond
I'm not saying, to you. What I'm saying, my dear sister, what I'm saying, I'm not saying nobody should bother. What I'm saying is, when it happened first, both of you sit down and talk it out. Then, if you talk, you say, okay. Then second time it comes again, same thing. Then if you see that it's not the second time it does it again, then you can call this family. I'm not saying no, never. No.
You see,
never. No, there's nothing different.
Times, you see where we're
different.
You see where we're different.
You say we're different from each other. The way you can hold up, I may not be able to hold up that.
Yeah.
So we are different from each other.
Very more than different.
Thank you very much. I'm really enjoying this. And you know, I just want to ask again. When do you think it's time to leave a relationship? You know, I mean...
When you can't take it anymore, man, leave it.
When do you think it's time to leave an abuse, you know?
You see, if we're talking about emotional abuse... Sometimes we can never tell someone when it's time.
To leave.
To leave. It's up to them.
We can advise them. So, you know, when it comes to couples... I always say it's hard. It's hard because when you get in the middle, by the time they settle and get into bed, they don't only settle, they get into bed, you become the bad person.
Yes, of course.
It's you that we used to make love.
And you're right, because you know what? That has happened to me. That has happened to me. Because, you know, I've got people walk up to me, you know, this is what's going on in my home. And I say to them, you know what? I don't know how things works in your home. I can't tell you to leave. But I can tell you to run.
Yes.
You know, whatever.
Even if you tell them to run, some of them they still say
I'm like, whatever it is that you want to do,
it's up to you.
You are better good alive.
You see, I wouldn't say it's up to you.
No, it's up to her because you're not in her shoes. She's the one in the shoe.
Know, but I wouldn't say that. It has to be put in. You know what? For somebody to come to you, and especially with something like emotional abuse, it's quite different. You see, with physical abuse, I can show you a scar.
I'm like saying to you, it's both emotional and physical abuse. You know, like maybe you tell me, oh, my partner slapped me yesterday, my partner slapped me last week, my partner hit me 2 months ago.
You know what? Sometimes it's time to go from the first
No,
step.
the thing
like I said to you on the phone.
You know, the thing is, I say to them, okay, now you're telling me, okay, what do you want to do? That's the first thing I asked. Because when most people come to you, believe me, most of the people that comes to you, most of them are not ready to leave.
Oh, yeah.
So which I usually ask them. I always ask them.
It's up to them.
What do you want to do? Do you want to stay? Do you want to leave? Or do you want me to put you in a therapy? You and your husband.
Yeah, but don't forget, you are coming. You are coming from a professional point of view.
Yes.
But as a layman, it's quite different, isn't it? Because as a layman, I have no therapy to put you in. So I'm not even going to be throwing that at you. But for me, one of the things I say is, are you safe? Do you feel safe? Do you feel you are at risk? Because the first thing that comes to my mind, if you are at risk, you need to leave straight away. And that's the only thing I can tell you. You might find it offensive. You might not like what I'm saying. But I have to be honest with you. If you are at risk, the best thing is for you to look for how you can get out.
A woman has walked up to me. She told me she was at risk. Believe me. And I told her, you know what? These are the numbers you need to call.
And that's all you can do.
That's all I can do.
Yes.
But you know what? Like 2 weeks after, I was surprised when she called me, like, oh, thank you for your advice, Josephine. We've sorted things out between us. And you know what? He's actually a good man. I'm like, oh, really?
No, Josephine,
for a man I've hate you so many times, and you tell me it's actually, and you're like, you know what? It's up to them.
No, because it is up to them. But at the
no
same
good
time,
man, it's a woman.
No, wait, there is something that you also need to recognize at the same time. Yeah. Anybody, right, perpetrators of abuse, emotional, financial, physical abuse, are manipulators.
Yes, they have.
They manipulate you by
with everything.
I'm not even going that far yet. Yeah. At the end of the day, in the first place, they pick out the partner that they are going to have.
The weak points.
You understand? So they know who they can go out with. So they would see someone like me, and they'd be like, well, I ain't going out with Susie because she's got a big one.
Oh, you know.
Something's like to make it quiet.
Oh, yeah.
You understand? Then they see Mary,
and they're like, oh yeah.
If I say to Mary, shut up, Mary just looks shut
Mary
up.
sits down there.
So firstly, they've already picked their victim. They know, you know, there's something that attracts us to people.
It's true.
And that is one of those things. Then secondly, the victim themselves, they have issues. Maybe that's how they were brought up. They were brought up in a very abusive manner. Maybe they've experienced it themselves. Maybe they have a very subdued spirit that tolerates it. So sometimes what you are seeing as a strong-hearted person, they as a weaker person are not seeing.
I'm not seeing it.
And the love that you need, because I know that if you tell me you love me, it's not enough.
No, it's not by saying it. Are you showing it?
Yeah, love is never enough in the marriage or relationship.
But there are some people that are so emotionally damaged. Me saying that I love you, I have become their wealth.
Yes, that's all the
that is what they're looking for.
That's just it. That's just,
so
and it's not just women.
I'm going to ask you,
no, it's not.
If a woman should walk up to you and say to you, you know what, I've been enduring this man for the past 8 years. This man eats me constantly. He abused me emotionally, physically, and everything, even financial abuse. And I'm like, what kind of advice will you give to that kind of a woman?
Have you called your parents? Have you told them about this, first of all? And if she said yes.
What about in a case like maybe this person is an orphan, he's got no parents?
Just like me.
Okay. But
just like me. Oh yeah, I thank God for for giving me a wonderful husband.
Bless
you know, is you just have to go out there. You have to shout. You have to speak out. You have to see. Go to the council. This is so. Go to Google. Go and type abuse, violence, domestic violence. You get the numbers there.
Yeah, you get the
then
number
you call them.
Emergency.
Call them quickly. You know, because before it gets to something else, because this thing has actually happened to somebody that I really, really know. Because many of them, what they put in, oh, I have children with him. You want me to leave him, and where do you want me to stay with the children? Hello, excuse me. Your life comes first. Because when you die now, another woman will look after those kids. So your life comes first.
Your life.
Okay, let me go to Susie. Okay, Susie.
You're going to have to put that question to me. Let me hear it clearly. You need to put that question to me.
Okay, that question
different answers. That's my own way.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I am coming from a social work background, so I've worked with victims before on a professional level. I've had friends that have experienced the same stuff. So at the end of the day, I've dealt with it in those different ways. You see, if somebody comes to me and says to me, I am being abused, and this has happened, what do I do? For me, the fact that you have come to me in the first place to tell me that you are being abused, to me, you have recognized the fact that you are being abused. So you've gone somewhere. You're somewhere. You started the journey.
I've not been
now, my next response to you is, you need to go for counseling. Because
just how you know with a man.
No, you need to go to counseling because clearly you need to find yourself and you need to learn to respect yourself. You need to learn to value yourself. Because until I value myself,
because there's a
I
lot
will
of women
still put myself out there to be abused. I will accept the abuse. So first of all, I have to understand why I'm accepting the abuse.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to go back to my past. And I have to think about how I keep myself safe and my kids safe. Because if I'm being physically abused by my partner, by my husband, by anyone, and I can't protect myself, that means I can't protect my kids either.
No way.
Sure.
So that's
Because already I'm not making the right decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? Let's get more feminine.
Okay.
Okay, in a case like your husband is, or your boyfriend or your husband is this cute, tall, you know.
Oh bless! I need one of those.
Okay, let's assume. Yeah. 6 foot tall.
Wow.
You know, 6 pack. He's got the muscles. You know,
everything.
He's your dream man.
Yeah. Idris Elba.
He's your dream man.
Yeah.
And you know, you start a relationship, it leads to marriage, and you know what?
Yeah.
He's super caring.
Wow.
You know, he helps financially. He doesn't abuse you physically, but he abuses you emotionally.
Hi, Victoria. Sorry.
So that's good. Hi, Victoria. Thanks for joining. And you know, he abuses you emotionally.
Yeah.
But this guy is super cool. He looks after you. He looks after the kids. So in this case, what do you think someone should do with a man like him? And you know, it's down to earth, super caring, but he abuses you emotionally constantly.
Do you know what? Somebody's asking you for the number. Sorry, but if it's somebody's asking for the number,
Wants to call in.
If you're saying me. Are you saying me as a person?
Yeah. Yeah, you as a person. I'm going to go to Ngozi as well.
You see what? If it's me as a person.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, I'm a very strong-willed person. So when you are playing mind games with me, I can see it straight away. So it's time for me to walk away. But I'm going to say this. I have been in a situation before where I've been in a relationship and I've sat back and I'm thinking he would change, he would change, he would change.
Yeah.
And he never changed, but I lived with it.
Okay.
But for me, you see, you emotionally abusing me cannot affect me.
No.
Because I've got my own stuff. So you see what? When you wake up in the morning and because you're vexed over something, and I'm saying good morning to you, and you ain't replying, I am saying good morning to you again. Forget it. So you know what?
That's it.
The two of us will emotionally abuse each other.
Oh, that's it, man. Is it my turn now?
Okay, your turn. Let me hear from your own point of view.
Just like what you said, is everything. And his abusive is just his mouth. It's just his mouth.
It's just his mouth.
What do you want to say? It's just like sometimes my husband look at me and say, "You see this your mouth? If somebody follow you here, now to just use train, they pass you by." Do you understand? Because it's his mouth. That's all. No problem. If you say, "Oh, I you know, just like what she said that, oh, you greet in the morning," he said he didn't answer. Guy, we see later, huh?
Yeah. You haven't said you see that.
Guy,
you won't even say anything.
I'm a very strong. If you want to, I'm a very hardcore man. If you don't want to answer, that's your problem.
If I have said good morning to you, and you just looked at me up and down and walked away.
It's just the eyes.
For the fact that you have looked at me up and down, you heard me.
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
Why do I need to now leave the house and say bye? I'm going.
No. Why do you say bye?
So you wouldn't even give him a kiss.
Why? Excuse me. What's the kiss? Where's the kiss coming from?
Are you giving a kiss?
No.
Are you giving a kiss?
There is no hello. When I say
to me.
Yeah, to me, you're very romantic.
I might just blow him a kiss.
I'm not romantic, I'm sorry.
Say, I might blow him a kiss and tell him, you know what, that's your problem. If you like.
Oh, you blow kiss.
Yeah.
Me blowing a kiss is me mocking you.
You get it.
Yes.
Now you get it. You know,
I'll be like, baby.
Let me tell you something. By you doing the same to him, you're letting him know that he's getting back, he's getting at you.
Yeah,
but with me,
just like what I said, oh, bye, see you later.
You know? Oh, yes, the number is on the screen to call in.
It's on the screen there.
Hi, Susie. Hi, Oluwatoyi. Yeah, you can call in. Hello.
Sorry, darling.
So, you know, me blowing a kiss, it's me telling him, you know what, you didn't get
nothing. Yeah,
okay, so you see, you're not talking to him then. Let's get it
I'm
right.
not talking to him right, but I can kiss him just to let you know, you know what, I don't have your time this morning. And with all this, your paparazzi, you're not getting to me. You know, by the time I come back in the evening, believe me, it will be straight down. because he knows I don't give.
No, but that is the husband that you have.
That's it.
There are some men.
They behave like women. They can keep mindless.
Yeah, for the next 1 week, for the next 2 weeks, they're not talking about
1 month, man. They don't care.
You know what?
If you cook anything, they don't care.
I watched a Nigerian movie. It was a few months ago, and this man is very abusive. And while they were about to get to bed, they want to sleep at night time, and he said to the woman, "You know what? I don't want your skin touching my skin."
Then you have to leave the bed.
On the bed. The woman left. And I was like,
no way, I'm not leaving.
You know what?
I'm not leaving. I'm sorry. He needs to leave.
For me, you don't have to leave the bed.
I'm not leaving.
No, I'm not.
He needs to leave the bed.
No, he doesn't though. Shall I tell you what?
Why?
Maybe there's pillows.
Yeah.
We'll put them
I don't even have that time to put pillows, please.
I have time. Because you know when you tell him to leave.
This skin cannot touch. You can go, man.
No, you know
and
when
I'll
you tell him
spread
to
my
leave.
legs and sleep very well.
You know when you tell him to leave.
I'll just tell him if you can go, if you want to go.
You know when
I'll
you tell
spread
him
my
to
legs
leave.
and sleep well.
There's an argument. It can lead to an argument. So we're talking too much here.
Yeah.
So what you do is.
Oh, sleep. I don't have time for that pillow, man.
You know, see, to me, I will put a pillow in between us.
Oh, please.
Because believe me,
You won't or you will?
I will. I will put a pillow in between us. Because believe me, that is me saving myself from being eaten. Because I don't want you to eat me. Exactly. I don't want you to touch me.
But don't forget,
I'm going to put a pillow in between.
Some people with emotional abuse, it's women as well.
Yeah, some women that will
box you and say, "Oh, you're not talking to me."
Okay, you know what? We've been talking about men, so let's go back to women.
Yes, some women are very abusive.
Some women too are very abusive. But in a country where we are, they listen to the women more than the men. You know, some women can really frustrate their husbands to the point where he will eat them. But say, I'm not saying any man has the right to eat you.
No man.
But some women can really frustrate you.
Yeah, I remember when I was like that, but I never got here. But you know when you have to push it.
You are lucky.
You know you have to push it.
You know when some women can overpush. They push the boundaries a lot. And believe me, by the time the man eats you, it's like, "Oh, what have I done? I'm so sorry."
No, but then I'm like, you know those women that when you argue, all of a sudden she grabs the man. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, you're not going out. No, that's not even that. You see them locking the door.
That's it.
Even before the man eats, you like, "You have to kill me today.
Exactly.
You will have to kill me today."
Okay.
So you know what? How do we deal with those kind of women? You know, all these kinds of women. How do we deal with them?
When you say deal with them, how do you mean? Do you mean how would if I was a man, deal with such a person?
If you were a man,
as an outsider, how would
No. I'm just gonna say, if you were a man, how would you deal with that kind of a woman?
There's nothing.
There's nothing you can do. It's just to ignore her.
Lie down where you are.
No, but
down.
Okay, let me tell you.
It's not all men that has the power to resist.
Yeah, so men, they have weak points. They just hit.
They just
like,
hit.
They can't take it.
They can't.
They just like hit.
You get where
but when I tell men like that, I tell them, when it gets to that stage, just if you're driving, take the key to the car.
Get out.
Go, switch off your phone.
No, but don't forget, she's locked him in. He can't leave the room.
No, she didn't say that. She just said that.
What did you
say? Locked you?
Yeah, she's locked the door.
Yeah, she's locked the door.
Oh, okay. Then if she's locked the door, look for a room and go and sleep. Just
in the room. They're in a room, don't forget.
In the room, and she locked the room.
Yeah.
Then just lie down the bed.
You know, to me, I would say to you, if your wife or husband is abusive, put a lock in some of the rooms in your house. If she locks the door, go in the other room.
No, but if you're locked in the room and you can't get out, then what do you do?
No, at the end of the day, she's going to calm down.
Yeah, that's it. You just have to.
She will calm down because you are not in her face anymore. Lock yourself in one room, take your phone, and if she has your phone, lock yourself in that room, sit down until she calms down. She can't walk herself out for the rest of the day. She will definitely calm down at some point.
There's a lady that called me on the phone, and we're talking. And later, at the background, I heard the husband's voice.
Yeah.
She was talking. And the next thing, she was screaming.
The lady?
Yeah, she was screaming at the husband. And I was like, what? Is it your son you're talking to?
Or your husband?
Or your husband? She said, I'm to my course now. I said, huh? Really? I said, what? Is that how you talk to your husband?
That's you inviting the devil.
Yeah. I said, by the time this man that you slap now, you start swelling. I said, that's not how you talk to a man.
Of course.
No, you don't talk to. See, no matter how small, I have a son. He's just 9 years old. You know, sometimes even me, the mom, if I'm talking to him and it was like, his face is like Okogen is like, why you? So from small, you know that ego is in them.
It's in them.
It's in them. You don't have to. when you respect your man, it gives it to you back.
Yeah.
It's only a man that's what I'm going to now. It's only a man that the house that he comes from, the father abused the mom, hit the mom.
It's not all the time.
That's what I'm saying. It's like 50-50.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's like 50. Sometimes some women cause things like this to allow men change.
You know,
there are some cool men now. There are some very quiet men. Quiet, they don't like trouble, but they get into a very troublesome woman. So they're different.
We'd like you to join in if you have one or two things to say. The studio line is open and our number is 020-800-46100. So you're free to join us and let's listen to your own view or your own points. So Susie, what do you say about
what I say about her?
She just said something about a man, some men that you don't talk to your man anyhow. Some women are kind of...
You see, we have to be realistic. Like I'll always keep on saying,
you have to be real. Yeah,
there are different people in this world. Some men like their women talking to them.
Oh yes, of course.
There are, to you too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you see, like I was telling you,
so.
There's they can do that. No, you can do that inside. You can do that inside, not outside. Yeah, your husband should be your friend. Your husband should be your pals. Like, guy, come, what's going to happen today? How you day? Communication.
It should be, but at the end of the day.
But there are some there's no. I went to a friend's house. I went to a friend's house and I sat down. The husband was sitting there. She was sitting there, and I was just like in the middle, like the other sofa, and there's no communication. I was just looking like this, and
And they live in the same house.
They live in the same house. Do you know when she was saying me off, I had to call her once. I said, "Come, babe. What did happen?" Now I communicate.
You don't know you. Which one?
No. The thing is that it's not first time I've been there. It's not the first time I've been there. I've been going there. So when there's no this, I had to call her because I'm a very straight and blunt person. I'm real. I don't have time for fake. I don't even have that time. So I said, "Come, babe. Alpha, what's this? There's no communication now since I've been coming here. What? When you guys want to go and do the other side, do you text and say meet me upstairs? Things like that. So in marriage or relationship, when there's no communication, that's where the problem comes from. Because you need to communicate. You just have to communicate. So I just say to her, I don't know you guys, everybody with their own, but I and my husband, we communicate. Everybody with the different, maybe there are some people, their own communication is the other way around. So everybody, they have their own different communication. Because I cannot have you as a man, we cannot communicate. Because I like to play. When I like to play, I like to sometimes I like my husband say, "Come, guy, man, this your head." Everybody different. Is mine. Is my friend.
But do you know that whether you communicate or not, to me that doesn't determine whether there'll be emotional abuse or not.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what determines whether somebody will be an abuser in any shape or form is their character, is their background, the way they were brought up, what they were exposed to when they were brought up. So you might have couples that don't communicate that much because two people married themselves because they don't like talking that much. So at the end of the day, I need someone that's not going to talk to me too much, and they got married, and that's how they live their life. No, but listen,
that works for some people.
My sister hardly talks.
Okay.
I am
so the husband too.
So when we grew up as kids, she hardly used to. I'm sure I used to spend my life begging her to talk to me. Every time I spoke to her,
people are different. She's just like my sister. She doesn't.
So when she got married, forgive me if you're seeing this. Her husband, he don't talk that much. He talks. So the two of them, they're happy. They talk when they need to talk. So you see what? People are so different.
That's why I said 50-50.
You can find, but 50-50 for who? It doesn't matter. Different combinations meet and mix.
That's what I'm saying.
We can't determine what it will be.
50 years, communicate.
Like me.
Don't communicate. But do you know there's a couple I know? The wife don't talk.
That's
but
it.
The husband like her to be talking.
It happens.
And he comes to me and he says to me, "Oh, my wife, she's like," I say, "Come, okay, you don't see him before you marry him, so take him like that."
That is it.
So that's what I'm saying. That from the beginning, you need to like. But if you don't live with that person, you don't know that person very well. Do you understand? Like when I met my husband, he's the man that doesn't talk. If I start my madness, he will give me space. You say they don't gather, he will give me space. Like what I'm saying. So,
but you see, you as a person, you're the type of person that then likes a man that will give you your space.
Yeah.
Whereby there will be
There are some
somebody
men
else. No, there'll be another woman that
don't.
likes a man that confronts her. Not beats or anything, that they actually have a full-blown argument, and that's how they will settle their argument there and then.
Okay,
So you see, people are so different.
That's what we're saying. The same thing.
Like my partner is a reserved type, but outside.
Out what?
Outside.
Yeah.
It's
Outside,
very
it's very
reserved
calm.
outside.
Or inside.
But
is
when
not.
we are in, forget
That's what I'm
it.
saying.
That's
We're
it.
different.
We are one crazy family.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
My husband will never sleep in the afternoon 3 hours while I'm inside. No way, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm jumping straight on him on that bed and we're
That's what I'm saying. Playing.
No, no
Your husband should be
way.
your friend.
No, I don't mean
Your
it the
husband should
other
be your
way.
Oh,
friend.
you sure you don't?
No, I'm not
He
meaning
can
it the other way.
be his own.
No,
He can
even
be
if he did,
it doesn't
anything.
matter.
No, but that was not what I meant. What I meant
Yeah.
was that, my partner cannot be at home 3 hours sleeping in the afternoon.
I'm not talking to
I'm
you.
not talking. Believe me, I will wake him up.
Mm-hmm.
I will let him have 1 hour
Because
sleep.
he's your
I
friend.
want to talk. I want to play.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to go out together. If my partner is home, if I'm cooking in the kitchen, he has
He's
to be
with
there.
you.
He's
Yeah.
there with me.
But
Even
it's
when
not
he's going
like
to
you
use
just
the
said,
toilet.
It's not
That's
meant.
it.
Everybody are different.
Yeah,
Everybody is
but
different.
you see, for
the
me,
way everybody do
I
their
would
things
say
are different.
that whether you talk or you don't talk cannot become a reason or has anything to do with emotional abuse.
Exactly.
Because, like I've always said, emotional abuse is determined by a person's background, their
That's
character,
it.
how they deal with issues.
Okay.
Now, you have a woman or a man. It's like there's some women. As soon as their husband, the way they deal with issues with their husband is by keeping Marlies with them. And the reason why they deal with it in that way is because they know that their husband does not like keeping Marlies.
Yeah.
So once they keep Marlies and they stop talking to the man, he will beg them. And they've got away with what they want.
Yeah.
That is a form of emotional abuse because at the end of the day, you're taking advantage of a situation.
Yeah, because that's his weak
Yeah,
points.
and once
Weak
you are
points.
taking
Those are the weak
advantage
points,
of
yeah.
someone, in a sense, you are emotionally abusing them. Sometimes it will harm them emotionally. Sometimes, like I said, everybody has different coping mechanisms. So it affects the person differently and it doesn't matter. So with me now, if some people, don't forget, there are some people that believe, I don't want to dwell on a problem. It doesn't affect me in that way. So if you are now, because you know there are some women that will, there's some men or women that will now offend you, and on top of the offend that they have offended you, they're the ones that will still argue with you. And you
Because they don't want to take that blame.
They
so
don't
they'll
want to
put
take
it
the
on you.
responsibility.
Yeah,
And you
put
are
it
the
on
person
you. Yeah,
pleading with them.
yeah. And
You
you was like,
understand?
my God, what?
Yeah,
You're supposed to, yeah.
but what I want to point out here is, it doesn't mean that the person is being emotionally abused. You understand? Because that's how some people will say,
Communicate their own way.
I can't be arguing.
I was speaking to someone yesterday, about my show and everything, and I was telling her about someone that I know that's really abusive. While they were dating, he was really abusive to this lady in question, and at the end of the day, they went ahead having a baby, getting married to each other. And the one question the lady asked was that, okay, why did she get into a marriage with someone that's already been abusive to her? You get what I mean?
But then when you look at it,
and then I told her that this is someone that knows very well that she was from a messy, faulty background. That at that moment when it was with that guy, there was nowhere.
So she was looking for a way out.
So she needed the way out. She's a lady that wants to go to school. She's a lady that her parents are not there for her.
Yeah.
No, she's a lady that her father just disowned them. Then the mom is not earning enough to send them to school.
Yeah.
And the only way she could make it, make sure that she is a graduate, is by sticking with this abusive man. And she was hoping and praying that it won't lead to her death. But thank God that she is alive today.
Yeah.
And she is a graduate.
That's good.
So because when the lady put the question to me, why did she get into marriage with someone like that? I was like, you know what? So many people with different situations,
and I think
different
that
problems, different circumstances.
That is what a lot of people forget about, and so they judge situations, and they usually judge the situation from their own stance.
Yes.
And I say to people,
you have to say
you
from
have to
all
come
sides
outside the box.
you.
You understand? So you have to come outside of the box And that's why sometimes it's good to, if somebody comes to you and says, right, I'm being abused, that is why it's good to send them to a professional.
Yes.
Because a professional is now trained in helping them draw out those issues, makes them address those issues, helps them work on those issues. Which sometimes you as a layman cannot do, because you might even make the situation worse. Because at the end of the day, I might go to my friend and say, oh, do you know what? My husband slapped me. And then, but my friend might be going through the same, but I don't know about it.
Exactly.
And so she will say to you, don't worry, just sit it out. He will change. Or she will say, go to church, go and pray to God.
Oh, no.
No, but it happens. It happens well. So a lot of the time, I've said to people, when I've had people with extreme abusive situations, and I know that they are rooted into that relationship and there's nothing I can say to get them out, I advise them to go for professional help, because I say to them that at the end of the day, to tell you the honest truth, this issue is more rooted in negativity. Negativity is the right word, but it's more what's the word? It's more acute? What's the... I don't know what the word is, sorry. But, you know, it's more serious than I can deal with.
Yes.
So you actually need professional help, because there's some issues that you need to address.
As much as we're trying to raise awareness on domestic violence, do you know so many women lied about domestic violence?
Oh, yes, a lot of them, because of the financial, the money, everything that they get.
About domestic violence, the perpetrators lie, the victims lie.
Yeah,
the victims are in denial, the perpetrators are in denial. How many, can you see someone who emotionally abuses someone coming up to you and saying, I'm guilty of emotional abuse?
Oh, yes, I've seen a lot.
No, but how many have you seen? They're very, that's what I'm saying.
They won't come out.
Exactly.
They always have something to justify their actions.
But not only that, sometimes they don't even know that they're doing it. To them, they want something, and this is the way I get it. Because don't forget, a lot of the time, we cannot recognize what we're doing. Emotional abuse is different from physical in the sense that I can box you, I know that I've hit you.
Oh, yes.
But I can emotionally abuse you, but sometimes I might not even know that I'm doing it
to you.
Yeah, you don't even know you're doing it.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know, was it your thing?
Is that how it made you feel?
You know?
A lot of the time, unless I can stop and I can think of what I did, or a lot of the time somebody will say to you, you know, you hurt me, what you did hurt me, and they'll be like, well, why did it hurt you? What is
okay, like for example now, you know, there's some people when you tell them, oh, yeah, you're too skinny, why are you so skinny like this? Or you tell them, oh, you're too fat. But
I get told that all the time.
But to you, you're saying it from your, mind, you're taking it, but to them it's like, it's hurting them. Do you understand? Just like what you say.
Do you know some...
That's to you. That's to you. There's some people that... I'm used to it.
Thank you.
Because you're used to it. There's some people that is not... Oh, you get
do you
like
know
so
some women don't even know that they're abusing you emotionally?
That's what I'm saying.
But
sorry, say that again.
Some women don't even know.
Yeah,
they don't realize they're abusing you.
Yeah.
But it takes you to do to them what they are doing to you.
Then you will
before they can realize they are abusing you emotionally.
Yeah. But you see, sometimes, don't forget, if I'm keeping malice, if my way of dealing with my partner is when I need something from them, when I'm not happy with them, is to keep malice with them, of which I'm, and I know the person is affected by that emotionally, I, even if you tell me, it still doesn't make sense to me, because sometimes if you do the same thing to me, it won't affect me. Yeah. So it's no big deal.
That's
so it's
you.
like, so you tell me, do you know, darling, whenever you do not talk to me, whenever you treat me in that manner, this is how it makes me feel. And you might, oh, come on, grow up. What's wrong with you, baby? Because the person, because sometimes the person does not have the educational background or the common sense enough to think outside of their box. You understand? It's all about them. So if they're doing it, it's okay.
Nothing. Yeah, it's nothing. Yeah.
So such people, for it to work,
you have to do it.
They have to be because even when you're doing it, to them it's not abuse. It's still okay. They've done it to you. What's the big deal?
It's not okay.
No. You did do your own habit. Do me, I do you.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. That's it.
But you do me, I do you takes you away from addressing the issue. Because you said do me, I do you.
No, I don't agree.
No,
it will take you away from addressing the issue.
It stops you from addressing the issue.
That man is going to come back and ask you,
no,
what is wrong with you?
No, Josephine, you didn't get what I'm saying.
No, guys.
What I'm saying is when they say, do me, I do you.
That's it. It's ended.
So it's now ended and you've not addressed it.
Yes.
Yeah. You do me.
Nothing
and then they never address it, and then they are in a cycle. That's how they deal with it. But sometimes, if that helps them cope with it, then that is all right. But it's where a person is being pushed down into that atmosphere of depression because this is how someone has treated them, and they don't have the strength to say, I need to address it, or they want to address it, and that person would not allow them to address it. That is when it becomes emotional abuse. You've now told the person, okay, you're doing it. You know, it also takes us as adults also, because some people could be emotionally abusing us, and like I said before, they don't know. So sometimes we have to say to them, this is how it makes me feel.
Okay, there's one example that I want to give now. The place I worked, and the lady asked me, oh, how old are you? And I said, I'm on my 40s. And she said, oh, you're just a baby. Really? And I just looked at her and said, oh, so how old are you? And she said, she's on her 50. I said, oh, wow, you're just a young girl. You know? And she's she's looking for something.
Do you know what?
The word she is.
For me, the two of you are funnier. Because if I tell someone I'm in my late 40s and they tell me you're just a baby, I'll say, hi, I'm a baby.
So you see that we are different. You see? We are really different.
You're different.
And you know, it was like since then she now noticed it like, oh, okay, maybe that thing. Like, then the next day she's like, oh, how are you? I said, I'm good, darling. And you? Good. And everybody, that's it. So now she know that, oh, there are some things that you don't go beyond. Why some people, just like what you said, oh, you Funaka.
That person is now my friend for life. Yeah, my friend for life.
Oh my God.
You know, there's nothing like saying to somebody, how old do I look? And the person said, you look like 25.
No, it's different. No, it's different from what I said.
Wait, how old do you look? You look 25.
No, if somebody said to me like
wait,
that, yeah.
And then somebody, how old do you look? 62. Huh?
Like what I said is, there are two different things, because I said, like, if somebody come to me now, sometimes when I tell people my age, they say, you don't look it. I say, thank God though, I don't get offended.
So why would you get offended if they say
because of no. When he said I'm a baby, so when you call me baby, when you call me newborn baby, what do you call him? No, it's just a simple question.
So now I'm worried. Because
why are you worried?
If your husband now says to you, baby, you
that's my husband.
Okay, I call everyone baby and babe. So if I said to you, baby, you're right.
No, if you call me babe, that one's solid.
No, but if I said to you, baby, you're right.
No, that's different.
No, you can't call me baby. You call me babe. Me, I go my own straight though. My people, they know me very well. I go straight. You call me babes. What's up? Alpha.
Anyway.
But you not call me babe. If you call me baby, then you go with them.
So do you see it as a form of emotional abuse?
That's what I'm saying. So now everybody, you need to give, this person doesn't like this. So you have to follow that person that way. If this person doesn't, but don't, when you call baby. So newborn baby.
Anyway, whether you call me babe, you call me baby, that doesn't stop my life.
No, that one is different. No, that one is a different thing.
Baby.
No. You see?
That's cool. That's all right.
Are you saying the truth because you're on TV?
No. To be sincere.
No, apart
you
from,
don't get it.
No, I get what you're saying.
You know, like you just said, we are different.
Yeah.
I don't really read any meaning to it.
If you call me babe, it cannot stop me. Now, I'm going to collect money for bank. It cannot stop me. Or if I'm doing my job, it cannot stop me. You're not the one. That one cannot stop me. But where it is when we are people.
I get what you mean.
I don't know.
No, I understand your own situation. I understand the situation.
Yeah, I understand when
like, I'm the lady asks her age. And she
that's what I'm saying. You ask my age.
No, you don't say I'm just a baby.
Yeah, you can't just call me just a baby.
I get where she's coming from.
You guys,
but whatever you like,
different box.
Very different. So more than different.
I'm fine.
Anyway, thank you so much. And I want to. Another thing I want us to address is this issue of domestic violence.
Right.
How do we stop it?
By you screaming out, say it out, shout out. You're dying.
We need to be realistic.
Yes,
now.
that's what I'm saying.
Domestic violence is something that
it's terrible.
Part and parcel of the community. It's not something that can be stopped, but we can look at how can victims deal with it. Yes, it's by walking away. How do they walk away? They need to be supported in walking away. We as parents, when we say we want it eradicated from society, we as parents need to look at how we bring up our kids. So you also need to bring them up in an environment that they're not exposed to domestic violence, because like we know, you learn as you grow up. After you've been able to remove them from that environment, they're not in that type of environment, then you need to think of what they're being exposed to and the message you are giving them. So as boys, you have to give them that message. This is wrong. Hitting someone is wrong. As girls or boys, both of them need to have that message that it is wrong to allow someone to treat you in that manner. Now, we need to be realistic. It doesn't mean it's going to stop.
Yeah.
But all we can do is try our best to make sure it is reduced to as minimal as possible.
When you say something about the community, to my own side is not...
No, I didn't say about community. I said the family. I didn't.
No,
did
you
I say
said
community?
about where you can move the children or something.
No, I said you have to be aware of the environment.
The environment,
When I say environment, I'm talking about home.
Inside the
okay.
I thought your environment where you live. Because that's what I want to say. No, it's not right where you live.
No, that's not your business. I'm even talking about family. You know, at the end of the day, I could go to my uncle's house and my uncle, I see him beating his wife, and then at one point, I think it's okay.
It's okay, yeah.
So it's about the environment. When I say environment, it's anywhere you go that that your kids are exposed to. Reality is,
sometimes
reality is you can't control everything they see outside.
Yeah.
But you can talk to them about it and you can address it.
When you say something about uncle, when they go to the uncle, then from there you learn from the uncle. If it doesn't see where daddy hits mommy or mommy hit daddy, you can't learn it from uncle.
Who told you that? We learn from other people. We don't only learn.
They go to and it's like when my son goes out now and see something happen, he will come to me and tell me, mommy, this is what happened.
Yeah, but that is your son. You see, at the end of the day, every child learns differently. You see, I always feel that if we make the mistake of thinking that our kids are only learning from us, we're not.
No, they learn everywhere.
Yeah. So if they go to uncle's house and they can see uncle beating auntie and getting away with it,
okay, we've got a call, so
they might feel comfortable doing it.
Hello. Hello. Okay, we can hear the caller. Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see, I can go, if I spend a lot of time in my uncle's house, you know, how many times have you seen kids grow up at home and all of a sudden they go away to a friend's house or to a cousin's house and they come back doing something you're
different,
like, hold on a sec.
They copy.
I've never seen you doing it. Why are you doing it? Oh, I saw so doing it. So they do, we have to be aware that they do learn from outside as well.
But you know, like, they really learn, they learn from outside.
They learn both.
More. They learn more from the inside.
I don't
know.
They learn
outside, like I said, they learn outside.
I think on the earlier years, they
learn inside. When they
learn from who they spend more time.
That's what I'm saying. Now, the inside, they learn more.
No, but don't forget, some things can have more of an influence. So I might spend less time, but it may influence me more.
Yeah.
Depending on what type of interest I take to it. So I could go, an example is, I could go for a class for 1 week and learn nothing, but then I might go for one that's about 6-7 hours.
Because you put your interest.
Because it interests me.
And
we cannot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You put your interest.
We cannot determine what a child is interested in.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon. You're through to Women's Issue on Heritage TV. Josephine speaking. Can I know who's on the line?
Well, the name is Mr. Senator I.J. Johnson in the making.
Oh, hi, good afternoon.
In the making.
Oh, yeah. Okay, can I listen to your own point of view?
Okay, I know IG. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, you've got something to say, right?
I'm alright.
That's good. So,
she invited me to it, so I just wanted to and I'm watching it as we speak. So I just said, okay, let me give a call and put in my own life.
oh, thank you.
Oh yeah, no, please put in your own life. IG.
Fire away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about emotional abuse, IG?
Well, emotional abuse, emotional abuse has to do with when you, let's say you are in a relationship and you are lying to your partner,
Okay.
and she trusted you, and when she found out that, automatically you have killed her emotionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Then for you, but for you, as if you're a man and you're in a relationship, before you get into a relationship, a serious relationship, you must have to be in love with your partner. And then when you're in love with your partner, you have to dedicate yourself, everything for her, and work together as a team, right? Don't ever in your life betray that, give her any reason to betray the trust.
Yeah, don't let her doubt that. Yeah.
You have killed, and that trust, when you break it, it can never be built again.
That's it. You're right.
Yeah. So you have to be sure of what you're getting into before you end it. Because some people think that when you kiss somebody, the only way you use knife because somebody's nice. But when you can kiss somebody emotionally, like through lying and cheating. And
you're right.
Women are very fragile. Women are very fragile, and should be respected at all times, and their emotions should be kept in check.
Thank you.
That's what it is. I mean, that's where I look at the whole thing. I don't know. So, to all the young ones out there that are not married, please be sure of what you're doing before getting involved.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you very much. That's a very good advice.
Yeah, very. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much. We hope you give us a call next week. We've got another interesting topic. Thank you. Thank you so much for your call.
It's up to Sue. If you invite me, I'll call.
Oh, that's good. Noted. Thank you so much. Yeah, bye. Bye for now.
That's what I'm saying. That from the beginning,
the signs are there.
It's just like that's what I'm saying. The signs are
there.
there.
That's what we're all saying. But also, can I just say something?
Yeah.
It is true that the signs are there.
Yes.
But do you know what? Sometimes we have to be realistic because the signs are not always there.
That's
so
some men are very
pretending.
Even women.
Women, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
So, there are some men and women out there that look at a girlfriend or a boyfriend differently than how they look at a husband or a wife. So when you're girlfriend or boyfriend, we're going out, we might get married, let's see how things go. Then they get married, and all of a sudden, that person becomes your property. You understand? So it's something like, don't forget, when you're girlfriend and boyfriend, within some of the Igbo culture, your boyfriend and girlfriend, when they pay your dowry, they've brought you.
Yeah, they hold
You're
you.
not paying the man's dowry. Yeah, you're not paying the man. Well, where do you see them paying the man's dowry?
No,
exactly.
India.
So once they brought your dowry, sometimes I'm not saying
the belief you're their property.
Let's not get it wrong. I'm not saying it's all the time, but there are some people that a certain level of security in a relationship gives them what they see as a certain level of power.
Yeah.
So when I was boyfriend and girlfriend, you could say this to me, you could do that.
But now that I'm your husband,
or now that I'm your wife,
I'm your wife. It has to be different.
Try that. That's it.
So I'm gonna come to you. So how do you think we can stop this domestic violence?
Cry out. Talk to just like what professionals. Okay. You know.
And if that doesn't help?
Then pack your things, run though. Because this thing happens. I'm telling you, pack your things and run away. Because if you say you're waiting, because of the children, because don't worry. Is it leopard never change the skin, or which language is that? So there are some that forget it, they will not change. There's one of my aunts that I know. The husband killed her because they told her, move out. He said, I don't burn for that more. At the end, the man killed her. So what I said, pack your load and go. Stay alive for those kids. Be alive for them. You know, start from somewhere. That's why sometimes.
So do you think before we get into relationship or marriages, we need to dig deep down? Dig deep down into the family
I think
we are getting ourselves into.
I think we need to dig. We need to check these things, but we also need to be realistic that individuals come with their personal characters. And just like experiences are individual, the person is an individual as well. So yes, we dig down, but it won't. Let's not think that it will stop it. It's not going to stop it
because there's still some men. They pretend. You see, there's some men, and the woman don't even know that the man smokes.
I know.
They'll go outside, do it, and you will never know. So there are some men that they pretend. Likewise, some women too. They hide the character. They'll be doing good. I'm a good girl until when this man marry me, then the real character will now come out. So some women too, they beat.
You know, some people say with prayer everything is possible.
Yes,
there is nothing impossible with God.
I will say about that.
But I just want to ask: do you think for a man there's really abusive, violent towards you?
Sorry?
For a man that is really violent towards you, do you think praying for him is going to change him?
Should I tell you something? Unless prayer is a form of counseling.
Before you finish, remember the Bible also says heaven helps those who help themselves.
Yes, so listen to what I'm saying. For some people, prayer will be a form of counseling. It will stop them and make them think. They've prayed about it, so it's something that becomes an issue for them in their head. There are some people, no amount of prayer. You can pray from now till Christmas.
And there's another thing again to add to it. There's sometimes it's not like all men that they're violent. There are some. It's the character of the woman. It's not by saying you go church, go and sleep morning till night, but your character
pray
still
30 days, so
and you want how can he walk? He can't walk. You first of all find yourself. Do you understand? Because like you said, some women push the man to extreme that. Oh my God!
But it's not just women. Let's
even men can as well. It's both parties.
Not, the only reason why women are spoken about most of the time when you talk about domestic violence as the victims is because we are the weaker sex. And because of the expectation of a man being the muscular and the strong person in the relationship, that expectation. But the reality is you could have a 6 foot tall man, masculine, with a 5'2" woman, and that woman could be abused.
You didn't complete that 6-pack.
I don't really.
You see, that is where some single ladies fall into. They see the man. This man is this guy is handsome. Oh my God! But they didn't see the other part under.
They didn't see it.
They didn't see it.
So no, because
they'll not go inside.
Listen to what I'm saying. Wait. Listen to what I'm saying first. What I'm saying here, I'm saying people see a tall man that is 6 foot, very handsome, like you said, with a 6-pack, and they see a woman that is very petite, 5'2", and the last thing they will ever think is that woman is abusing that man. Now, when it comes to emotional abuse, height and size and age has nothing to do with it. You can be the smallest person, emotionally because emotional abuse is about feelings and the way you deal with the person.
I've seen a case. This man is like 5'7", and
it's very tough.
So when I found it difficult to believe that this man is all sorts of what they describe him to be. It's abusive emotionally, physically, financially.
And the wife is tall, right?
No. There are some
it's the fact that when he's outside, the persona,
this man is very petite, but believe me.
So it's the persona he takes on when he's outside.
And I'm like,
you can't imagine him doing that.
I look at myself and I say to myself, this one. Do you get what I mean? This one.
But you see, this is one thing that we have to understand also is that sometimes the persona that people show us or take on when they're outside is different from the persona they take on inside. Also, we also need to remember all the time and understand that people that abuse are usually very emotionally insecure people. They are already insecure within themselves, and that is why they use abuse
them, and because they don't love themselves.
I'm going to say something
know yourself.
The reason
you know
why
yourself.
so many women endure domestic violence is because most of them are lazy.
No.
I have a reason for I have a reason for saying that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying every one of them.
No, but you said a lot. But you are forgetting that you have to think.
Financial,
Should I tell you what? You have to think about life as a package, and you have to understand that life is affected by so many different things.
Yeah.
So you put the person there, and you do your bubbles, and you have culture, background, financial situation, emotional balance, emotional stability of the person. So no, they're not lazy.
No, see, the thing is, I didn't mean it to put it that way, but because I read a lot of victims' messages, their stories, and I'm like, they're like, you know what? While I was with him, he didn't let me do anything, and he abused me a lot. Because all these men knew that the moment they allowed you to step a foot out of the house, you will be who you want to be, but not who he wants you to be.
Some men are secure.
Which is why I say, in any relationship, please do not sit and sleep. Anything can happen at any time. And your getaway ticket, it's you being independent.
No, but then you're forgetting something. You're forgetting about people's security, financial security is very, very different.
Yeah.
So you think of someone, let's think of a woman that now had a baby. She's not going to be financially secure. And if all of a sudden the husband says, darling, please, I don't want you to work. Because a lot of the time...
But what if before she had the baby?
Yeah, she might have been working.
Yeah.
Some women, and I don't blame them. You see, my first daughter, I was at home with her for 1 year.
Yeah.
At the time, I was in university. That's when I was studying for my social work degree. And I had to take a year out because I knew there was no way I could deal with her sickness and also go to college. Now, if I had a husband that was abusing me emotionally, nobody can turn around and say I'm lazy because I am dealing with a child. Now, there are a lot of people, think of someone that was brought up in different homes and were either abused in some form or the other by people that cared for them, for the parents, while the parents went to work. Such a person, the last thing they want to do is go to work. They want to stay with their child till the child gets to a certain age where they can talk. Am I going to call such a woman lazy if she is now in a case where she's emotionally abused, but she can't move because financially she's not stable because she's got this child that she's looking after? So, you can't call them lazy because you have to think of their situation. You see, you have to deal with each case individually. You can't put every case in the same basket. And that is why you have to, when you are working with them, you sit down, you interview them, and you make your assessment according to the results of the interview. Yes, there are some women out there that you might think are lazy, but are they lazy or do they suffer from low self-esteem? They don't have that much confidence in themselves to move forward.
A lot of them like
Can
that.
we call that lazy?
But do you know there are some women that they are lazy?
There are.
Because they depend on their husbands to do everything.
Yeah, so but then is it not the man for me to think that for me to expect my man to do everything, that means he started doing everything. And when you started doing everything, you've always you've given that expectation.
But that doesn't make the woman
giving him the right.
You haven't given him the right. Because if he's shouldered everything, he's telling you, I can do it. Now, if you told me you can do it, I don't give you the right to do anything, apart from giving you the right to do what you're doing. So at the end of the day, it's for a man, because there are women out there that do everything as well.
There are some men that are doing everything that they take
there are women out there that are doing everything.
Do you understand? To abuse you.
It's not an abuse. It's not an excuse, because I'm sorry. If you are doing everything and it frustrates you, you have to do something to facilitate your woman going to do something else. If there is no excuse for her not to do nothing.
What I don't get is it a must for the woman to wait for the man?
No, you don't have to wait for the man.
Do you get what I mean?
Okay, if I've got a husband that wants the house clean 24/7, meals on the table 24/7, all the washing, all the laundry done, and that's something that if I have a full-time job, I can't do. Because 9 to 5, when I come...
I'm not saying you do 9 to 5.
Wait, hold on. Because sometimes it's not worth my while going part-time. And not everybody can find a part-time job. It's not that easy. Do you get me? But at the end of the day, It depends on the expectations of the man and the expectations of the. You see, couples need to come together, and they need to talk about these things.
I think it's wrong. Where she's going to.
You get where I'm going to,
because it's like, okay, yeah, I got married to a billionaire or something, and he's doing everything.
No, I get married to a billionaire. Why are you expecting me to work?
No, wait, hold on. That's you.
That's
but
you.
Like, even
if
I get married to a man that is, I can't just like. People are different.
Yeah,
I can't sit back.
I still have to do something.
I still have to like.
So if I get married to a billionaire, right, and I'm working, when I get paid,
no, you're not working.
Wait, hold on, I'm working. Do I give him some of my salary when I get home?
No. Okay, let me ask you a question. Why do you hold on? Why do you say?
No, you can't. Why will I give a man salary?
So
and the man will take
if I'm not giving you, if you're not using my salary,
we have to talk about this. Why will a man?
Have you ever
give the man money salary? He will take.
Have you ever seen a billionaire that stopped working?
He will take.
Have you ever seen a billionaire that stopped working?
A few of them retire early.
But before they retired, believe me, there's something to depend on.
Girl, if my husband is a billionaire, I need that house, I need that car.
If my husband is a billionaire, I'm not going to
you will get tired. I know someone that the husband is got everything.
This is the point where
she's tired.
Yeah.
You know, but when a man knows, you don't depend on him.
Shall I tell you
totally.
Something? Josephine, we have to be realistic.
The
only reason, wait, let's be honest. The only reason why most people go out to work is because they have to work.
Okay.
It's for the financial, what they can bring back. If I don't have to work and I can have hobbies, it doesn't mean I'm sleeping in bed for 24/7.
I know.
There are things I can be doing.
Hobbies is different.
I can be shopping.
Don't forget this woman.
The money.
No, but you said the man is a billionaire now.
And that's what I'm saying.
So of course I'm going to be shopping now.
Wait, now you know there's a point that
shopping
even
is
shopping
hard
said
work
go tire.
Now.
Shopping said you go tire.
Listen,
you
if
get
I'm
tired.
shopping, it's not easy.
So to you,
that's what to you.
If your husband is a billionaire,
but to me, I'll still do something. Even if
God forgive me, if there's any billionaires out there that would take me. If I'm a billionaire, why am I working?
She's saying it to you guys.
She's
looking for billionaire, please. Wherever you are, billionaire, please.
Locate her.
To me,
now.
If my husband
everyone is different. To me, I cannot just sit.
So this is where I'm coming from.
Everybody's different.
Because believe me, the rich also
she's just like my sister.
The rich also cry.
Oh yes, she's just like my sister. Our
Yes,
third born.
The rich also cry.
Listen, now our third born. Before we round up, let me say this, please.
I'm working for a reason, though. If I'm married to a billionaire, that reason is gone.
Cool down now, cool down, babes. You know what? My youngest sister, our third born, then when we're like, when she finished taking a bath in the evening, then she'll go and rub white powder and put lip gloss, and we'll be looking at her. And sometimes when I look at her, when she's talking, she's like, and I said to her, I said, come here, Pimani poor man. Poverty will strike you. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm looking at her. That you're just like.
But if I was your sister, you know what I would say to you?
Yeah.
Babes,
she just smiled.
You know what I'll say to you?
She'll say anything.
I'll say to you, babes, you hit the nail on the head. I'm not. So this is why I have my white powder and lip gloss.
Perfume everywhere. Lip gloss. I look like what?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We've spent more than an hour, you know. If I say we continue, believe me, we'll be here to 6 o'clock. Thank you so much, Susie. Thank you so much, Ngozi.
Thank you.
And to people that are just joining in, we're talking about domestic violence, you know, what are the causes and how to stop it. And to me, I feel like domestic violence, at times it starts from the root, from the family background, from the family foundation. Because most men that I've talked to and most mothers I've talked to, whenever I try to talk to their mothers, you know, why is your son violent? Why is it? They said, you know what? He has to be violent because this is what he usually says when, you know, right from a very young age. This is what he says from his dad doing to their moms. You know, there was a woman that talked to me sometime. They said, you know what? I'm tired. Everyone is complaining about your son. You know, his girlfriend, his wife, they've all been complaining. What do you think your son needs prayer? Or what do you think that needs to be done? And I was so surprised by what she said to me. She said, you know what? I've got 5 kids. And that boy...
He's the only one.
No, it's not the only son. But it's like he's the one that the dad loves most. Oh. And the mom said to me, you know what? His dad was very violent towards me. And you know what? Out of all the 5 kids I have, he is the only one that the dad's never corrected. Is wrong.
See, that's the thing
like,
again.
Leave him, let him to do. And he said, even while the boy was young, whenever there is a fight between him and the husband, that whenever the husband is coming to the shop to eat him or destroy things, he usually brings the boy along with him.
Behavior.
So while this boy was growing up, this is what he thought is a way of living.
Yeah, the right way.
He thought a woman has to be hit for them to be corrected. You know, one thing I want to say to parents, if you're there and you know that you and your wife or you and your husband has been violent towards each other in the presence of your kids, please do not ignore these kids, because I can tell you now that these kids are traumatized.
Don't even quarrel in presence of your kids.
No, I'm just saying.
You know what? I disagree. I think, why can you not quarrel? Quarreling.
You say
not in the present. Not in the present.
Why not? It's realistic. At the end of the day,
no, it's not like it's fake.
It depends how you do it. Yeah. You don't take kids out of reality to bring them up so that they won't be violent. Yeah. Parents argue. It's how you do it. You quarrel, but it's how you quarrel.
It's not like violent, screaming.
Thank you so much. So, like, as I was saying, as a parent, you've been violent towards each other in the presence of your kids. Please take all these kids to therapy. Take them counseling, because you've deposited something in them. You understand? So please, yes, you have.
But also, what you are exposing these kids to as well.
Yeah,
you need to check what
you have deposited something in them. Believe me, because this is what they've seen while growing up. They believe this is the right way of living. This is the way to live. Please.
But also, can I say something? A lot of African parents, I'll say Nigerian because that's what I'm used to. The way they discipline kids is with the cane. Yeah, here in the UK, in the Western world, they're held back because of the laws. But in Nigeria, even bringing your child up with a cane, you are giving them a message that it is okay to beat someone to resolve a problem. So it's good for parents to be more creative and try and find other ways to punish the child.
Taking what they love.
If you're gonna pick up a child and beat the child, as soon as something goes wrong, you bring out the cane. Worse.
Then we get used to it. Oh, now you want to smack me? Come on, mom. Come back.
So
you take what they love.
So to everyone out there experiencing domestic violence in their relationship, even though we can reach out to everyone, you know, we don't know you personally, but please, if you know you are at risk, I'm going to say to you, run while you can. And even if you're going to fight, please fight from afar.
Very far.
Because if you fight from afar, you are alive. But you cannot fight in that same situation. You get what I mean? Number one, live first and fight from afar. Then you can win.
You know what I
always say? But please, speak up. Do not stay.
No.
If your life is at risk, please do not stay. Do not stay. And you know, most of these men that are growing up and that turn to be violent, it's as a result of what they've seen while they're growing up. So which is why I'm going to say it again. As a parent, you've been violent towards each other in front of your kids. It's time to sit your kids down and talk to them. Believe me, you will be surprised at the things they will say.
I never ever believe that you can change an abuser.
Don't believe you can change them. You can never. An abuser will always be an abuser. Believe me.
They will without treatment.
So please, I'm begging every parent out there. I'm begging no, we don't want any more death through domestic violence. Enough is enough. It's time for a change. And I know we will create this awareness. It's going to go a long way. We will get there. Thank you for joining us. We will be here next week again. I'm still gonna bring my. I love them a lot. Thank you. They really made me laugh. So
that's the only way.
I will be bringing them. I will be bringing them soon again. But I'm gonna have another guest next week. We will be discussing an interesting topic. So next week we will be talking about unwanted pregnancy. So please stay tuned. I love everyone out there, and for those people that want to speak up, please, you know the number to dial. Dial. Save your life. Run as far as you can. Sending love to everyone out there. Love you. See you this time. See you same time next week, 11. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Heritage Television. Promoting African culture and heritage at its best. From talk shows that concern you to both local and international news that relates to you. From grassroots football to African children's programs. Heritage Television. We cover your social and special events like weddings, birthdays, church anniversaries, and so on, and broadcast them live on our apps and online. Heritage Television, broadcasting everything about culture and heritage. Heritage Television. We've got it covered. Do download our apps on both Android, iOS, and Windows mobile platform. Heritage Television, your very own TV station.
My daughter-in-law, so how are you planning for my son's birthday? I have to cook up for her. Do you people have ogirisi there? No. It's okay. Okay, let me call you back. Mama Chiji, okay. Hi, so wait a market. Please pack some ogirisi. I am going to visit my son. My daughter-in-law. It's arranged. But you must use original red oil to prepare the soup. What? I'll call you back. Mama Chijo, please include Isio Morocco. My daughter-in-law. Everything is now set. But don't forget that gold wristwatch I saw the last time I visited.
Now you can talk until you tire for just 11 kobo per second. Call all networks in Nigeria and 30 international destinations, including US, UK, China, Canada, and India for just 11 kobo per second. Dial *211# to activate.
That's it, boo-boo.
The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.